Hello and welcome to our show, Echoes of Insight. Today we have a very interesting topic. We're going to be doing a debate. My name is Ashira, and I have a very special guest, and his name is
Jose Ortiz.
Hello, how are
Hello.
you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good, It's not as sunny as it was the last couple days, but
Yeah,
it's
been
still
hot.
nice though.
Mhm.
Get a little break to cool down.
Yeah.
So, today's topic is what defines a person, their thoughts or their actions?
I think it's their thoughts because of their motives. You know what I mean? Because you think about it and it's just like you go into it. Because I feel like your thoughts go into your actions. So I feel like your thoughts create your ideas and how you are as a person. What about you?
So, I would have to disagree on that. I think it's their actions that really define who the person is. Because, like, for example, because people can have all types of thoughts, but actions are basically your thoughts put out. And some people, they just are impulsive and stuff like that. And you may have good thoughts, but if you don't bring them out, how people are gonna like treat you based on how you act.
True, and I feel like your thoughts also can make your beliefs and who you believe in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because as me, I'm a Christian, so I believe in God, and that's a thought. Because everyone you have to think and you have to believe it. So I feel
Right.
like your thoughts, your beliefs, and everything you go through in life is what defines who you are. Because I can wake up and my actions are gonna be like same old, but I think about it. Do I want to have my coffee first, or do I want to take a shower, or brush my teeth first?
Right.
Those thoughts always define what you're gonna do first.
Yeah. I guess when it comes to like basic things of that sort, like getting ready in the morning and hygiene and stuff like that, that is sort of, I would hope it's a normal thing for everyone to like have some sort of like a routine. I think when it goes to like your deeper thoughts, that's when it really like affects.
Yeah,
Because some people are not strong-minded and they let their thoughts get the best of them,
because
and it determines how they act.
and I feel like as I want to get into this, I feel like men thoughts are also very difficult because like men have a hard time just expressing it and like showing their
Exactly.
actions. So when they show their actions, it's already too late.
Exactly.
So I feel like thoughts define as what's happening to you. Because everyone's thoughts is different. Because my thought could be different than a child's thought, than a woman's thought. So I feel like our thoughts still define who we are as a person. But I feel like, as you said, our actions also can define, because it's our impulse. Because some people have an impulse of, oh, I just want to jump in front of a car, because that's what people think.
Right.
But I feel like what we play and what we see control our thoughts. You know what I mean? Because we could play something violent and something
Yes.
scary. Our thoughts are like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I can't like go outside, or I feel like someone's gonna hurt me. Or maybe your
Yes.
nightmares as well, because your dreams can also define who you are. Because like you can wake up and a night sweating cold bullets.
Exactly. I think what you like listen to and what you watch is definitely very important, especially like if you're watching like a lot of news things and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't really watch the news too much because I feel like the news is always negative. You barely hear anything positive. Maybe once in the blue you can hear something positive on the news, but it's directed to like, keep people fearful or in a way.
When I want to get into that it's maybe that can also be a thought, because that's what you remember. So I feel like your thoughts can also be your memories and remembering stuff, because like
Right.
it'd be like a fake memory and you're like, oh wait, that actually happen? And your actions doesn't define your memories, and your memories are still your thoughts. So how you think about it controls who you are technically.
Yeah, because I feel like because some people, especially like with memories and thoughts, they do go hand in hand. And I do believe that like with memory, is really important. Like if certain things happen to you, the way you view it, like, because some people, like bad things happen to them and they be like, woe is me, kind of, like they don't take accountability, like, okay, this may have happened, but you have to like forgive those, not because of them, but because of you. Because when you think about it, people don't really care Like, if they did something bad to you, they're gonna keep on moving with their life. But you're the one that's years later still affected by the same thing when these people don't even care. So a lot of people don't forgive, but forgiveness does not mean forgetting, though. So you have to forgive but not forget, and you have to set some clear boundaries with people like that. So the memories definitely have a good thing. Like, if you have happy memories, that is gonna be good, like in the way you're growing up, or the things you put out. But if you have bad memories, sometimes you don't really know the difference, so that makes you just do bad things or whatever.
I feel like that as well, but if you always think about it, it's also in the law. I'm not saying, oh, the law says you can't, your thoughts be who you think you are, but if you look at the law, there's meditated murder. So people think about it and they have the motion of like, oh, I want to do this, I'm going to hurt this person.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a thought because they're thinking about just doing it. But this also goes for you because there's also just murdering without a thought. It just happened.
Yeah.
So there's your action. That can also be what it is. But I feel like it's more, meditated is more worse because you think of it like, oh, how I'm going to torture them, how I'm going to ruin their life. But I feel like that's what it is because torture is also mental as well because people can mentally torture you.
And that also has to do back with what we were saying, like about the memories of things, like how they were treated or what they're watching and stuff of that sort. It really like plays a real big part in that. Like, you know, if you're always playing shooting games and stuff like that, or watching like those crazy shows, don't get me wrong, I like Snapped and maybe a little First 48, but I'm not gonna go out here just practicing those things, you know what I'm saying? I think it's a lot of people don't have a lot of like, they're not strong-minded, like I said, and they can't like not, because I think everybody has crazy thoughts, and if you say no, then no, not you say no, but like if someone says no, I don't really think it's true.
I do agree with that.
Because a lot of people have crazy thoughts. Everybody has like, you know, impulsive thoughts or whatever. But it's how you like what you do, like your actions. So for example, if you have the crazy thoughts but you don't do anything about it, people are not gonna think you're crazy or think this. It's just like a normal part of being a human. But
I also want to go off of what you said because I do agree that they both go hand in hand. It's very hard to really debate about it, but I also agree with it because there's also your action defines who you are as well. Because like you think about it, but your actions really define it. Yes, and I feel like I can always say I was just thinking about it. This serial killer, you know, I think everyone knows him, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh yes.
He thinks about doing all this
crazy.
stuff and he murders them and he keeps their skulls of memory of who they are and he keeps doing it and talks about it. And there's also murderers in prison who talks about what they've done and other prisoners have killed them because they were tired of it because people think, oh, they're doing justice in their head.
Yeah, exactly. I've definitely heard a lot of stories about that where people think that they're doing something good. And like a lot of people, they try to do it. They say, God told me to do this, which God would never tell you to do that. Like, they just make a lot of different excuses. And I think another thing about it is some people make excuses, like their thoughts could be thinking something positive, but they lack the skill to follow them through, causing them to look non-intentional. So that so even though your thoughts are positive, if you're not like pursuing what you say you're gonna do, like say you're gonna be here at a certain time, or say you're gonna go to this event or do this, help a friend out, and all those things, if you don't stick to it, people are not gonna trust you and like act accordingly to you because you haven't shown them any different. So I think you have to. They both go hand in hand together. It's very important to make sure your thoughts follow through with your actions.
Because they always say, think before you act. But we have those impulses of acting before we do. Because we say stuff, and sooner or later we're going to regret it. And you're like, oh, I should have done this. It's your thoughts, but your actions are like, oh, I have to do this. It's like your mental thought. It's like, oh, shoot, I have to straight do it. And it's just like, oh, now you're thinking like, oh, I should have not done that. And people think it's easy, but it's very hard because thinking before you act is one of the hardest skills you can actually learn.
Yeah, because when you think about it, like that's why, because me, sometimes when I think about stuff, I go off my emotions. So you really do have to sit down and think about it, because if you just, if somebody says something to you and then you get really upset or something like that, sometimes I could go off, but then I'd be like, oh, let me be quiet, because words you can't take back.
Because it was
They
say sticks and stones.
They sting. Like, words, you really can't take back. And then people, they be like, oh, that's how you act when certain things happen like this. And then it really, like, affects how the relationship will move forward. Like, not just romantic, but platonic relationships
It can
as
also
well.
be your family as well.
Yeah, all types of
Because you
relationships.
can just do like your emotions and you instantly say, oh, I hate you, dad, or I hate you, mom.
Right.
And it's going to impact them because they're going to see their son in a different way now, because it's just like your actions defined what you just did and you can't take it back. You can't apologize, but you already did it.
Yeah, that's why especially now at this age, I really like learned how to like be more intentional with the things that I think and like be positive. I'm also a Christian too, that's why. So you have to like be positive and think of good things, you know what I'm saying? But this was a wonderful debate, and it was a pleasure to have you here today.
I'm glad to be here as well. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. So that was all for today. This was Echoes of Insight. We had Jose here as the co-host and me, Ashira. So we'll see you on another episode. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, this is Echoes of Insight. I'm Victor, and today we're having a debate about cars and several controversies that are currently going on in the car community. Here I have Joelle with me.
Hello.
And we'll start off. Joelle, how do you feel about the rise of electric cars on the road?
Well, it's nice that they're becoming popular because they could be good for the community, but at the same time, it's a bit too much because, you know, they're remaking some older cars, and the reason why classic cars are because they're not coming back to be remade.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like crazy good that they're coming back, or like that classic cars electric cars are becoming as popular as they are. I think that they should remake them and have them be their own thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should make new models and make those the electric cars instead of taking a classic car and take that and make it an EV version of what it once was. So for example, like if Honda were to take the CR-V and make it an electric car, which most people love the CR-V and see it as a very reliable everyday car. But also if you were to take something like a Porsche 911 GTS, GT3 RS, and were to make that electric, people wouldn't really like it that much.
Yeah, because I mean, you're changing a classic vehicle into something that it shouldn't really be. You know, because everybody's used to it being, oh yeah, this is my classic vehicle. Nobody else is gonna have this. It's the reason why, like I said before, they're classics, because they're not gonna come back.
Yeah.
Like, there was a couple of limited cars that Ford made. Like, I think they were in the Mustang genre, something like that. And, you know, there's a couple new ones, forgot what it was called, but there's a couple of new ones being remade to be the same car, but be an electric version of that older car. And I don't think that should really be happening.
Yeah, I agree. I think at most they'll take a normal car and make it hybrid. Like some companies such as McLaren and Ferrari will make hybrid supercars, but they're not making full electric ones yet. I know Lamborghini has a full electric car in the works, but they're making a new model for that instead of taking like the Huracan and making that an electric one.
Yeah, not to mention the lights on electric cars that are like really, really bright for no reason, which I mean is good at night if you're alone driving on the road, but if you're
But
coming
if you
up,
have oncoming traffic, then
yeah, and then, you're the other person and you see the car, you're not going to be able to see anything because it's
Yeah.
just a bright light, kind of blinding you, being like flashbanged or something,
yeah,
So I don't think that electric cars should be the way that they currently are. I think that it could be, I guess, moderated a bit more than what they currently are at.
yeah, I agree. Do you think full self-driving cars should be on the road as prominently as they are with Teslas and other companies trying to copy that?
I don't think that they should be full self-driving. I think that as long as you're, behind the wheel still monitoring what's happening in front of you, I think that that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Or like, if you had to get yourself to the hospital
Mm-hmm.
and, you can't really drive because, I don't know, your arm got cut off or something and you
Yeah.
need help or assistance driving, I think that that would be a good idea. But it's for them to be full self-driving without you looking at them or you're just on your phone playing games or something, I don't think that's a good idea. Because, I mean, people on their phones, being on their phones is already an issue enough.
Yeah, I agree. How do you feel about people trying to say that cars should be limited to what the speed limit is so you can't speed?
I think it's a good idea and a bad idea at the same time because, I don't know, it's just a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you didn't want cars to go like super high speeds in the first place, why would you make them do that originally? Clearly, there was a reason for it at the time. So removing that feature from, newer cars or moderating them in that way, I don't think that's a good idea.
I agree. I think cars should not be limited to that, especially in an emergency. But I think it could also be taken in a different direction. And let's say someone has a history of being a bad driver, speeding, then maybe you could put a limit on their car, just not everybody's car, since you are paying for a car to be able to go the speed that
Yeah.
it's able to go.
Like, I think that if there was some system in the car that could monitor what the driver was doing, that would also help with insurance so that people wouldn't have to, so everyone wouldn't have to suffer from the insurance rates going up, but rather it being, oh yeah, this one person is going to take the fall because they, aren't driving properly.
Yeah.
So I think that if there was a system in the cars, since a lot more of them are having newer technology installed into the cars, if it could be monitored in a way so that, everybody wouldn't have to take the fall, like I said before, when, driving at higher speeds or just, in general.
Do you think insurance rates should go up for driving late at night or for driving a lot, like with Tesla's insurance?
Not for driving late at night. That's kind of stupid. Because, what if you have, a 12-hour shift or something, and then, you're taking damage, I guess, for you working late. They're pretty much taking the money that you worked that 12-hour shift for. So I don't think that's a good idea.
I think they could change it so that if it's, it depends on how you're driving at that time. If you're taking advantage of the roads being completely empty, then that would be a reason for your insurance to go up. But if it's just you driving late at night, then that shouldn't really affect you.
Yeah. What about CarPlay being too accessible when you're driving?
I think CarPlay is both good and bad for navigation, so it makes maps really easy to see, but having your messages be able to just pop up on the car screen, that is not really good because it'll have people with their mind not on driving, they're on whatever they're gonna text someone back,
Yeah.
or if they're like what they're gonna do.
Yeah, especially with Tesla, how they add games into the car
Yeah.
where you can actually like steer the wheel and whatnot. Obviously, you don't use those when you're driving, but the idea of the game probably will take your mind off the road, and that's, you know, really distracting, obviously. So I don't think that that's a great idea for that to be, you know, allowed to be on the road. Push to start is another thing. Do you think that that should be as integrated into newer cars as it is, you know, currently?
I think push to start is a good addition to cars, but also it needs more security measures so that people aren't stealing the radio frequencies that the car is starting because of, and that's really what makes push to start a negative.
Yeah, I think that them using keys to, you know, start the cars and whatnot, I think that that should still be a thing. I think some push to start cars, or at least most electric cars, that can be push to start. Obviously, they're already electric, so why not? But that doesn't make sense. But I think that keys should still be an option. Like if you want to go and get a newer car, there should still be an option where
put the
you
key
can,
in and turn it.
yeah, rather than it just being, you know, push to start the whole time. I don't think handleless doors is a good idea either, because if it's an electric car and you have to do an update or something, you know, you're probably not going to be able to get into your car because, you know, there's no handles.
Depending on the car, I disagree. I think having no handles on some cars can make it more aerodynamic and more efficient, or at least retractable handles where it'll come out when you come up to the car,
Yeah.
but then while you're driving it stays inside.
Yeah, but what if it's like a really, really bad snowstorm and ice freezes over the
It gets frozen
car
in.
and you have to try and like push some little like touch sensitive thing, but you can't get to the touch sensitive thing because of the ice. In that situation, I don't think it's a good idea.
There should be an emergency
Feature.
situation kind of thing, but I think the general idea is fine for most everyday
Yeah,
weather.
I think it would definitely need to be adjusted depending on the climate that you're in, because it could be a really, really bad idea. Another thing is Teslas. It's a lot of things about Tesla, but Teslas, when you're updating the car, I heard you're not allowed to get out the car. Like if you're in the car and you're updating it, you can get locked in the car.
They definitely have to fix that, because you should be able to freely be able to leave your car when it's updating.
Yeah.
So like your phone, if it's updating, you can't use it, but it makes sense that you can't use it, but that's like saying that it's tied to a wall and you have to stay there or else the update will cancel.
Yeah, because then you're not, you know, if you're actually trapped in the car, it's like burning hot outside. You know, you've got no food and no water in the car. I don't think that's a great idea. Another thing about Teslas is their Cybertrucks.
What are your thoughts on the Cybertruck?
They remind me of tanks.
Mm-hmm.
They're very big. Like compared to other cars, they're very, very big. And I don't think that that's a good idea. I don't think I've seen any of them in accidents yet, but I'm sure if they did get into an accident, there'd be no scratches on the car.
I disagree with the accident part, because I saw a Cybertruck get into an accident on YouTube, and it seemed to have crumpled just like a normal car would. So it'll be safe, but also it's like a sharp design. So someone like hitting something like a person where that wouldn't cause the car to crumple would be more harmful to them.
Yeah.
So I think the design could be changed.
Yeah, I don't think
make it a
using
little rounder.
stainless steel the whole time, like around the whole car, is a very good idea.
that's all the time we had for today on Echoes of Insight.